Hi, guys. It's just me. It's just Krissy. That's all I can be. That's all I know how to be. No one's here yet, so I'm just going to vamp. I'm at my house, as you'll be able to see in a moment, and I'm just recording on my phone with my AirPods, nothing really fancy, because we're not going to be doing Guide to the Unknown tonight live for you guys. We will be having the episode out everywhere as usual on Friday, but we're just not able to record live tonight. And I'm just going to the chat thing. Okay. But anyway, even though we're not able to record live tonight, I still wanted to come and say hi so that you wouldn't be left hanging because it was kind of a last minute thing. Hey, Mom. It was kind of a last minute thing. Unfortunately, Will's wife, Allie's grandmother, passed away just a little while ago. So, obviously, Will is spending time with her, and it seemed like kind of short notice to put out on social media that we weren't going live. So I thought that I would just come on for a little while and just talk to you guys live directly in the chat from my house. So, yeah, I know. It's sad. Thank you. I'm sure they would really appreciate that. She was really awesome. And yeah, it sucks and it's sad. But, you know, Will and Allie are just kind of doing their thing tonight and, being as comfy and comforted as, they can be. So, you know, what are you going to do? But because you're not going to hear Will and I talking to each other tonight, I wanted to see if maybe I could talk to you tonight and kind of switch it up a little bit. Oh, Mel, I'm sorry. I'm sorry your grandmother passed away, but 101, what a run. That is no joke. So I thought that I would talk about some things that I've been doing for entertainment, and then maybe you guys can tell me as well, rather than me ignoring the chat like I usually do or we usually do when we're recording the show. I'm going to talk to you guys and check out the chat, and let's just talk a little bit. It won't be a super duper long thing, but I still wanted to touch base. So I'm just taking a look right now. Hey, Andrea. Hey, James. Hey, Michelle. Happy to come on. Love talking to you guys. So my pleasure. Um, and what have I been doing? I gotta tell you, I haven't really been taking in anything super guides the unknowny, besides researching for the podcast, uh, super recently. James, I am still watching Psych very, very slowly. It seems like my Psych pace is kind of on par with my Supernatural pace. I've been watching Supernatural for years, and I'm on season 4. I'll go through a handful of episodes at a time and then not watch it for like a year or something. And actually, I did just watch a bunch of Supernatural, so that's Guides the Unknowny. And I think I'm right at the end of season 1 of Psych or at the beginning of season 2. But I've also jumped around a little bit because I've gone and checked out some of the horror episodes. I went through and watched everything, which was like skipping through seasons. That was the killer. I don't remember the name of the killer in the show, but Sean Young was in it, and it was really good. So yeah, I'm happy to go live tonight. I'm glad that I feel like the live shows are, even besides us doing the show, I like that it's kind of a container for you guys to chat to each other. I really love that. And at the end of the show, we look and you guys are just talking. So I still wanted to kind of hold that container even for a little while tonight. Um, Let me look real quick. So, Katrina, I have watched almost all of American Horror Story. Some seasons I've bounced after a couple of episodes. I can't even say love hate, like hate relationship with it. Maybe it is love hate because even within seasons, there are things that I'll love in the season and then things I'm just like, the. Katrina says, which one is my favorite? Controversial, I think. I mean, everybody's favorite, or a lot of people's favorites, is Murder House. So I think that's my favorite. But I like Roanoke a lot. I know that a lot of people don't like Roanoke at all, and I completely understand that. There's a lot about Roanoke that I don't like. I don't like the cannibal thing at all. I hated all that stuff. But I think it's actually a really, really awesome premise. I loved the turn that it takes in the middle of the season. I think Roanoke rules. Yeah, James, it's sweet, right? So I think that a lot of people don't like it, but I gotta say, I think it's my second favorite. The only ones that I haven't watched are Freak Show. I was like not interested in it at all, especially because when that first came out, I was still like very afraid of clowns, or even just like afraid of being afraid of clowns. So I wouldn't watch it. I watched like 2 episodes of Hotel. I didn't like it. Uh, Maybe those are the only 2 full seasons that I didn't watch. I guess everything else I've stuck through to the end, even if I was grumbling about it. And like, there are a lot of things I don't like about it, but there are a lot of things that I do, and it keeps me coming back. Like, it's kind of a punchy, fun, shiny show, plus the celebrities, plus it's horror. There's just something about that that even if I don't like it, I am compelled to watch. Like, I really did not like this past season, 1984. I found it extremely lame, and there are things about it that I just like hated. But I kept watching. I couldn't stop watching it. I don't know what it is. So I always go into it hopeful. But I've had way more misses than hits with American Horror Story, unfortunately. I'm just going to take a look at the chat real quick. Yeah, I mean, Coven is also, that's definitely like a greatest hits one for sure. There's a lot to like in Coven. I haven't rewatched that. I actually started to rewatch Roanoke. I think I only watched the first episode or something, not for any particular reason, but I guess something else just kind of caught my eye that I hadn't watched already. But I feel like it'd be fun to rewatch Coven too. There's even stuff in there that I don't like. I don't know. What can you do? Um, KB says that they haven't seen 1984 yet. Katrina says that they start a series, they tend to finish it. Yeah, you know what? I will bounce. I am a notorious bouncer. I completely understand that inclination, but I'll drop a movie when there's half an hour left. I will leave a series of TV that I'm not into. It's just like there are so many other things out there that are maybe amazing. Or not genuinely, I generally feel like, why am I wasting my time here? But for some reason, with most of American Horror Story, even though I don't like it, I want to see it through to the end. If I've gotten through the first like handful, I'm probably going to stick around. I think I seriously saw like one episode of Hotel and was like, this isn't for me. But if I've gotten enough story, like I want to know what happens. Or more rarely, I do this more with books. I sometimes won't want to finish a book, but I still really want to know what happens, so I try to look up spoilers, which is sometimes surprisingly hard. It's not like there are, reviews for books are often to entice people into reading them, so they don't really want to spoil them. It's a little bit different than TV show recaps or movies that have a, spoiler warning midway through the review. So book spoilers are sometimes hard to find, but I do try to do that because it's just like hours of your life, maybe for what? Hopefully, I can just find out. Katrina said, "Have I ever started Lucifer?" I have not, but I know that a lot of people like that. I know that's a lot of people's thing. Um, I've been watching lately. Let me think. I finished I'll Be Gone on. Excuse me. I'll Be Gone in the Dark on HBO a couple weeks ago, and I loved it. That's also a book that I love, so that's worth checking out. Also on HBO Go, I've been watching the Nexium documentary series called The Vow, and I think it is so good. Even if you don't know Nexium by name, you probably have heard some of the news coverage about it. It was slash is. I hope that it's largely disbanded because its leader is in jail now, but you never know. Um, a cult that was in the news a lot because the actress Allison Mack from Smallville was in it, so there was like a little bit of a celebrity cachet thing. And something that was in the news about it a lot was that there was a kind of secret society within it of women who were being abused, and they were branded with an emblem that they later realized or found out was kind of an amalgamation of the initials of the leader of the cult, Keith Raniere's, and Allison Mack's initials. It was like a KRAM sort of thing, and it's horrible. And the documentary about it is so interesting. And I feel like, not unlike Scientology, I am always surprised by how much more there is to learn about this stuff and how many stories there are and how you can continue to be surprised by the depravity of some of these people and the things that they've done. Because I listened to a podcast about Nexium called Uncover, Escaping Nexium, I think it was called, and it seemed pretty exhaustive. It was really, really well done. And then when I heard about this show coming out, I wanted to watch it because it looked like it was well made, but I was like, I pretty much know this story. And, the more people you talk to, everybody has their own individual experience of what happened, which adds different layers and different perspective. And it is so fascinating and really well done. And I would really recommend it if you're interested in that sort of thing. James says that his sister likes to stop watching Wikipedia. Yeah, I'll do that too. And that he wasn't digging the Fourth Corpus Strike book. I haven't even read it. I don't think I can. J.K. Rowling, I can't. Those tweets that go around being like, it's so weird how Harry Potter just popped into being and we don't know who made it. I'm in support of that. It is, definitely damaged a lot of things that I enjoyed. So I'm sorry that book sucked or you just weren't digging it, but I guess I'm also not I'm less heartbroken that I'm not reading it because I really, really enjoyed a lot about the first three. So that's something that I've been into watching. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, a lot of my trashy reality TV that I love, I'm catching up on. I've also gotten my husband into that world a little bit, so it's been very fun. We're sucked into the whole 90 Day Fiancé Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's extensive, so we spent a lot of time watching it. The Bachelor Goat episode. What is the Bachelor Goat episode, Katrina? Oh, I want to know. I hope you're still here and you can tell me. I'm interested. I want to know if we're talking about the show The Bachelor and there was something about a goat, greatest of all time. Okay, gotcha. It's the GOAT acronym. But what about the Bachelor? Are we talking about the show The Bachelor? I'm actually reading a book right now that's kind of about the Bachelor. It's a fictionalized Bachelor. It's called One to Watch. I'm really enjoying it so far. I just started it last night, and it is about a girl who's a plus-size blogger named B, who live tweets the version of The Bachelor in the book, which is called, oh God, what the hell is it called? Maybe if I open it's right next to me. Maybe if I open it right now. Main Squeeze is what they call it in the book. She live tweets about Main Squeeze and how it's kind of like BS. And then the people from that show reach out to her to ask her to be the Main Squeeze. It's completely The Bachelorette. And it's really good so far. If you like reality TV, it would be a fun read if you're into that sort of thing. Okay. So it's like a Bachelor recap show or podcast or something called The Bachelor Goat. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. The Bachelor Goat is a Hulu thing where Chris Hansen, I bet it's Chris Harrison, Michelle. Michelle's saying this. Chris Hansen is the guy. Maybe it is. Chris Harrison is the Bachelor host. Chris Hansen is the guy from To Catch a Predator. Is going through old Bachelor seasons and revisiting them. That sounds like fun. I've only seen a little bit of The Bachelor. I watched the whole season that JoJo was on, and then the one after that because I was part of a Bachelor bracket. That sounds interesting. Now I'd like to catch up. James says, "Have we done a culty episode on GTTU?" That's true. We have not. And he said that could be fun. Real cults and cults in pop culture. That could be fun. I'm writing that down. You can tell that I just have a nest of things around me. My Kindle was right there to look up the name of the show. My notebook is right here so I can write down to put that in the database later. That's a good idea. Add cults to future topic database. I like that idea. That could be fun. I find them fascinating, so I would really get into it. Mel says, I'm rereading Herndon's Life of Lincoln. I find him inspiring. That's awesome. And James says that I would love the show on Real. I know, I didn't watch it, but that does seem like something that I would love. Why haven't I watched Unreal? There are just so many good shows out there. I wonder if Unreal is on Netflix. It might be the kind of thing where maybe when it was on, it wasn't accessible to me because I've always had cable. We kind of go back and forth, but I'm sure I can find it somewhere. But I mean, right now, I feel like my cup kind of runneth over because, like I said, the 90-day world takes up a lot of my time. And then I genuinely, I mean, besides Ghost Adventures, Adventures, and going backwards, I genuinely enjoy watching Ghost Adventures. So when I'm doing my solo TV time, because Ryan isn't really into Ghost Adventures and ghost shows, he just finds them so fake he can't enjoy them. Like he can't separate himself from them, which I respect. I like to watch Ghost Adventures Screaming Room right now a lot, where they comment on past shows. I guess it's kind of the paranormal version of The Bachelor Goat. Uh, and I also watch all the Housewives. So my docket's pretty full, and then I'm squeezing in episodes of Supernatural here and there. Katrina says, have I ever watched Paranormal Lockdown? It has Nick Groff from Ghost Adventures. I haven't actually. I'm aware of it, but I have not watched it. I saw that I don't think it was for a TV show. It may have been for Facebook Live or something. I didn't actually watch it, but I saw that it was a thing that Nick Groff was investigating something with Kevin Manis, the dude who had the Dybbuk box. So that sounds interesting. That guy is a piece of work. I've since done a little bit more research, and it just doesn't seem. I mean, I'm not shocked to hear this. I don't think you guys are going to be shocked to, hear it either. I think that dude just made up the Dybbuk box thing. I don't know if he got other people to be in cahoots with it, like the guy who he sold it to, who buried it for whatever reason or something. But like, a Dybbuk is a thing in, Jewish folklore, but a Dybbuk box isn't a thing. Of course, one person could just kind of make that up or whatever, but just like this guy seems unscrupulous, and I've heard that he's told people that it's just made up. And seeing him on that episode of Deadly Possessions that we talked about in the last Dybbuk Box episode, which was called the Dybbuk Box Opened, I think, in the Guides Again Known feed, where he was playing it up so big time, like reciting that poem that he read in a very theatrical voice. All of that combined just makes me think, this isn't a thing. It's a cool story. It's a fun story. And always, when I say believe, it's always with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not sure how much I deeply believed the Dybbuk box story was true. Sometimes I guess I can hope that at least the people believe what they're saying is true. But now I think this guy just might be an unscrupulous detractor. All right, let's see. Katrina's saying that Paranormal Lockdown is really good. I have heard that. And Mel, I'm glad you've been having fun rewatching Ghost Adventures while listening to Ghost Adventures Adventures. It's a really good time. We love doing the show. We're looking forward to having it back in October. So definitely get ready. Katrina says, if you look up the creeper from Paranormal Lockdown, it's scary and mind-blowing. Okay. James says that Zach is a treasure. His Instagram is pure joy. I couldn't agree with you more. I had a passing interest in Ghost Adventures and Zach, before. But when I discovered his Instagram and Twitter is where I got really involved. I was like, this guy, he's a joy. He seems like just a nice guy. And he seems like a dork, which I appreciate. I don't even say that in like a real negative, judgy way. It's just like a guy, and he seems like a real sweetheart. And it makes it more fun for me to watch. And so if you like his Instagram and Twitter presence, I think that you might already watch it, James, but I'm saying in general, I think you would really like Screaming Room, because that is more on display there, because it's him watching the episodes with Aaron, Billy, and Jay, and them commenting on them. It's almost like pop-up video, but they're in like a screening room in Zach's home. And then during quarantine, they're in an actual movie theaters for social distancing purposes. And they're like jokey, and you see the snacks that they eat. I've noticed I'm endlessly fascinated by what people eat, their favorite snacks, things like this. We find out there that Zach is kind of a health nut. He's not about those GMOs. I just find it interesting. I feel like you learn more about the fabric of who he is as a person through Screaming Room, which I enjoy. Mel says Paranormal Files YouTube channel does a great job talking about the Dybbuk. Interesting. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I feel like so much Dybbuk material out there. I just remembered I have watched something that's horror based recently. I watched after it came up in the Guides to the Unknown Facebook group, which is at facebook.com/groups/GTTUpod. If any of you guys are a part of it and you'd like to join. People in there were talking about the movies Creep and Creep 2, which I've been meaning to watch for years, like since they came out. Mary Rose, who's a listener of the show, really loves those movies, and they and I usually have a lot of overlap with what we like. So I had a feeling I would like them. And I really did. I watched both of them in practically one sitting. They're short. They're like an hour and 15 and an hour and 17 minutes long or something like that, which is just right. I mean, I say 90 minutes is just right, but if we can get it to like a tight 80 to 90, even better. I really liked them. I thought they were really creative and interesting. Like the first, I mean, they both are, but the first one was like really creepy and uncomfortable creepy. In the beginning, I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this because it's rough. But I thought they were really, really good and interesting. And James, I think you're right. I think that he's an underrated creator. Another show that I watched and then ditched that he was a big part of was that show on HBO. Oh God, it's called Togetherness, I think, something like that. And it was something where it was like, it's not horror related whatsoever. It's about like relationships. And it was one of those shows where it was technically good, but I was like, I'm not enjoying this. It's too heavy for me and kind of a bummer. But I have friends who really loved it and watched all of it, and I totally get it, but just like wasn't for me. And I've watched a ton of The League. Yeah, I think he's great. There's actually a book that's by Mark and Jay Duplass about like their creative process that I've been wanting to read for a while as part of a sibling duo, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It's on my to-do list though. Room 104, I don't know about that. Okay, I'll have to look that up. Oh, Andrea said, I don't know what the hell happened to me, Andrea. She said that I had her crying, laughing on the last Godzilla, Ghost Adventures episode. As I said, I was just in a goofy mood. I don't know what happened. Will was right. I did sound like W.C. Fields or something. I got a wild hair. Isn't that also an old timey phrase about like feeling a little crazy? Something got into me. Yeah, loved Creep 1 and Creep 2. Is loved is too a strong word? It could be. I'm not sure. Really, really liked Creep 1 and Creep 2. Yeah, just really creative. I kept thinking about them for a couple of days afterward, just how interesting they were. I really recommend them. They're on Netflix, for anybody out there. And something that's on my to-do list is to watch the documentaries that are on Shudder. The one about 80s horror, and there are also some other good ones. I still haven't watched Horror Noir, which is about Black creators in horror. And there's another one on Shudder that I'm interested in too. I've heard that Cursed Objects is great, but I feel a little cursed objected out. We've done a lot of that on Guide to the Unknown, and not that I'm saying I know everything, but like I kind of have the gist. I started watching it and I was like, yeah, I know. And I'm trying to think of I still have not watched Lovecraft Country on HBO. I'm really getting the most out of my HBO Max subscription, not sponsored. But I had originally gotten it just to watch Search Party Season 3, which I did and liked. I didn't love. It was still, I feel like a fine season of Search Party is still better than most other TV, but I was not bonkers about it the way I was about the first two seasons. Still totally worth watching. But I was planning on getting HBO Max and then canceling it after that. But then I stayed for I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And then I found out about Lovecraft Country, so I hung on for that. In the meantime, The Vow about Nexium came out. So I'm really flexing my muscles on this thing. And I'm enjoying it. It's giving me content I like. James says that the Duplass brothers have a couple of amazing episodes of the You Made It Weird podcast. Oh, cool. So if I have like 7 hours to set aside, I should listen to it. I know it's like a very long form podcast. I'm just gonna kind of try to sum up in my head and think if there's anything else that I've consumed lately that I can tell you guys about and recommend. And feel free to put things in the chat that you've been into as we start to wrap up and we can talk about those. Oh, okay. Here's something that I tweeted about a long time ago and that Will thought I was saying as a joke, but it's very real. I'm sure some of you guys know about this. It's a big hit. I'm enjoying the Agatha Raisin mystery series. That's right, Raisin. I just finished the second book, The Vicious Vet, where there was a vet in town who was not so nice and he got bumped off. Now, this is a cozy mystery series. Cozy mysteries are books that are about murder, but they leave out the scariest stuff. So it's not a super grisly, detailed murder. Some of the darker elements of violence and everything are left out, and it's really just about the sleuthing and mystery solving. I find them very pleasant, uh, and it's great. The books take like 2.5 hours to read. All of them, at least for me in my region, are on Libby, the library app. So you can get them for free and have them sent to your e-reader. I just wrapped up The Vicious Vet last night before I jumped into one to watch, and I thought it was great. All right, guys, so I think this is going to conclude our fireside chat, or opposite, our air conditioner chat. I hope that it wasn't too loud for you. But thank you so much for hanging out. I know that this wasn't the show that you were expecting to see, but I still wanted to spend a little time with you and have you be able to spend time with each other. I know that Will wishes that he could be here, and thank you so much for all the well wishes for Will and his wife, Allie. I'll definitely pass them on. And we will have the show up this week everywhere. We're not going to record it live this week because we're just going to kind of fit it in where we can tomorrow. But it will be up everywhere on Friday, so you can look out for that. And the video will be up as well on YouTube if you like watching the show. So until then, thank you guys so much. I hope you'll join us in the Facebook group if you're not already in there. You can follow us everywhere at GTTUpod on social media. And you can also check out patreon.com/GTTUpod if you'd like to see some of the extras that we talk about on the show every week. So guys, have a great night. Thanks so much for hanging out. This was nice. And I will see you later. Bye. Oh, good. The weird part where nobody knows how to close it, meaning me. Oh, it's probably the X in the corner. Okay. Everything's fine. Bye. Oh, God. Bye.